Hello, welcome to Middle Georgia Magazine. I'm Cindy Pitts. Today I am so excited to show you the Garden of the Vedders. I am with Marit and Pieter Vedder, and we are going to explore their gorgeous garden, and you're not going to believe where this has come from, how far this has come. So you stay with us. We'll be right back after this. Hello, welcome back to Middle Georgia Magazine. I'm Cindy Pitts. Today I have as my special guest Pieter and Marit Vedder, and they are going to tell us about their beautiful gardens. Thank you so much for being with us. Tell us a little bit about who you are and where you originated and why you're in Dublin.
Oh, we are, as we always say, Dutch by birth and American by choice. We are born and raised both in the Netherlands and came to this country because Campbell Soup invited us to join them. We know about mushrooms, and so at that time they invited us to develop their mushroom business, introducing what they call the Dutch technology, design the farm in Dudley and so on.
All right, that's wonderful. And so I take it from what Pieter said that you enjoy being here. You're glad you're here, right?
We don't like it. We love it.
Yes, I can. Well, I tell you what, we're very blessed to have you, and I know it's a whole other program about mushrooms, and I'll be very excited to talk to you at another time about mushrooms. But today we're going to talk about this lot, these two lots, and what they looked like before, and then we're going to take a tour of what they look like now. So tell us a little bit about what it was like when you first saw this lot.
Swampy. You could not even walk here. It was very hard to get a look at it, but Pieter liked it because it had a creek all around. He said at least there's water. Water means life. That's the first principle. That's the basic. And we will work hard, and that's what we did. And it took us 9 years to, not 9 years, but we started here in 1990, and about 4 years ago we bought the adjacent lot, and now we proudly call it the Vedder Estate, so it looks different from the beginning, from the swampy
We
territory.
first lived for a number of years on Fairmont Drive, and then the company moved us around. After that we lived in Italy, and 3 years in Indonesia, and then at the moment that we have to decide where to live after retirement, we both didn't need to think long. We said we have to go back to Dublin, Georgia, and that's where we are now.
What a wonderful tribute to Dublin, to say that of all the places you've been in the world and you chose Dublin, Georgia. That is a wonderful tribute to Dublin. Thank you so much for that. Well, tell us a little bit about these pictures.
Oh, yeah, what you see here is, let me say first of all, we designed this house actually to build it in Italy. So, and okay, after deciding, after we made the decision to come back here, we adapted the drawings, and then we were looking for a lot where the sun is in the back part, so it has a certain reason that we went through Dublin and say, hey, that is the proper location. We didn't look at as a real estate man who said what is the best value, or as Bo Whaley said, does he call certain areas?
Cornflakes Hill.
Cornflakes Hill or something to brag about. We were looking for, as Marit already said, a slope, because we had that in our mind, water, a creek, and the location with the sun in the back. And then we found this, but it really was a swampy area. So we knew that it was not too expensive, but we have to spend quite a bit of money after that to develop it into. So they dug a pond and spread the dirt and so on, and so make it a little bit higher. We, as you will see, we dug up all ditches to get rid of the water. The Dutch are good in that, you know that.
There you go, that's wonderful. Well, I can see here that it was just
oh, you see the bulldozers.
And pulling up things and taking down scrub trees
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
all of that.
Oh yeah.
Wow,
Yes,
this
really.
is something. Who would believe you guys are visionary people?
Well,
if you can see
if-
what you have here out of that, you guys have a real vision.
Maybe,
You have to have imagination, yes.
maybe we have to say that we both, although we work in the mushroom industry, but we both have a horticultural background. Our parents, both of us, are market gardeners, and our study is both. Although, believe it or not, Marit's original.
I started off in fashion. Well, in the mushroom business you cannot use that. And if you look at this swamp, the first years there was not much glamour to that too.
Well, but you have added a lot of glamour to this garden now.
Well, thank you.
And the colors,
We
putting them all
try.
together. You know, we were talking earlier about the azaleas matching the roof,
yeah.
and you know, I don't know that I would have thought about that, but it certainly makes
We do.
sense. Yes, there you go.
We do.
Once you see it, you know, there are some of us who just see things and say that's gorgeous, but we don't know how it became gorgeous. But you know how to make it.
You have to
gorgeous.
invent it, and you have to have the imagination,
Right.
what you want.
Right.
Plus what we search for, we have trees, for instance, a live oak tree, one normal, it's right there, and one from Mexico, one from Japan, one from China, and evergreens. And there is the golden oak, our most favorite and most precious,
Okay.
also almost most expensive
Right.
item. But we designed that we have also a room with a view from our veranda looking out to color even at winter time.
That's wonderful. Well, I'm anxious to take a look at this garden, so let's walk around and see what we can see. Yes, these are beautiful. Tell us about those.
It's one variety of an oxalis. It's not supposed to be there. It has a tree. It has to grow below, but we will transplant that in autumn.
The tree over there.
I see. Well, that's really beautiful. And we'll just keep walking on down and tell us about things as we go. This purple right here.
You see a name tag everywhere, so you.
That's a saponaria.
Okay. All right. That's beautiful. All right. This is so nice to walk on this walkway. You guys are hard workers. Very hard.
The reason that we put that walkway here, in the beginning it was so muddy that you couldn't walk here.
Uh-huh.
And, so then I started digging those little ditches,
Yes.
and then after a number of years it dried up and
Right.
yeah.
Well, this is certainly gorgeous. Now, you have some roses right here, just a variety of everything.
No, this is a special rose. It is a clipping from my grandmother who died. My dad did her yard and the last time, and they started growing on his compost stack at home. And then I said, Dad, if you manage to have roses from clippings, I want to bring one to the US. So I bought a little clipping, and here are my grandmother's roses.
How
That's so special.
That is so special.
No, this is
grandmother's
Oma VandenMunckhof.
Very nice.
That's her name. And
Yes,
yeah.
very nice. Oh, that is wonderful. What is this little succulent? Is that a succulent right there?
That's a sedum.
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 That's nice. Are those strawberries growing under that tree?
They are the fraises At.we, the original wild strawberries, and they were not guaranteed for this region. They live until region 7, but they are as happy as can be. They pop up everywhere. The birds plant them, and we have to group them. That's for the fall.
They look wonderful. Let's keep walking. That is so cute. Peter just said you can make a flower pot out of an old stump. Look at that. You guys are very creative.
It will be trailing, and it's almost ever blooming winter time and summertime.
Oh,
It's the rosemary, very fragrant.
Yes, very. That's wonderful. Well, I'm very sorry that we don't have fragrant TV, because if we did, everyone would be in heaven as I am in heaven right now. Oh, these little flowers here are so beautiful.
The Tradescantias, I like to get rid of them, but these are things, sometimes you plant something and then it becomes invasive and you have to redo a whole lot of things.
Well, it's certainly beautiful.
Still running, so even if it is dry for weeks in summertime, the water is still running, so there must be a well somewhere. over
Yes.
there, huh?
Yes.
And if you clean it, you pull the weeds, then the nice moss starts growing. I love that. In springtime when the daffodils bloom, it's like a fairy tale. I like to sit and stare at it.
Yeah. Well, this pond is wonderful. Do you guys just sit out? Y'all are so busy. I don't know how you have time to sit out here and enjoy it.
Well, we don't have sitting meat. We are most times on the go. But what we plan to do is, before we go back inside the home around 7 p.m. or whatever, we make a tour.
That's
and
nice.
then I prepare supper and we call it
That's
quits
very
for the
nice.
day. But
Right.
there's not much time to put a bench and sit and watch things. But
Stealing the corn from the ducks. Huh?
Oh, there are ducks out here. Wow.
yeah, we bought some female to make some unhappy males happy again. They were lonely for 2 years.
So not only are you great gardeners, you're matchmakers.
Well, we try to help them out a little bit.
Ah, yes, these are incredible roses. Wow, these are beautiful.
You should smell that one. Perfume delight. It doesn't disappoint you. Most of the flowers we have, I must say, and roses, they are fragrant, highly fragrant. That's what I have been searching for. All
Wow,
over the
that
US,
is
all the
wonderful.
catalogs.
Oh, it's really beautiful.
And these are mostly new. We just planted this rose garden. The soil is a lot better than where Oma's roses still are. They were unhappy there. They were wilting, competing with the roots from the big trees.
Right, right.
And this is the first year they bloom. And
Oh, they're gorgeous. This is a great spot. It looks wonderful. Oh, now I have to ask about this plant right here because it's so interesting. This? This? It's tobacco.
And that's highly fragrant too. It's a lot
What you are seeing here is more or less the cradle where we have little things what we found or
Yes,
clippings
yes.
or whatever. And,
Wow. I did not know tobacco grew so beautifully. Wow. That's something. How about
They are very
that?
fragrant.
Now, I only knew about the leaves, you know, and putting them on the trailer and...
one thing, if you talk about a cradle, we use that little greenhouse. There is heating in it and a water system and so on. So in winter time to survive certain plants or from clippings or seedlings.
That's a great idea. That's wonderful. Okay. All right, let's keep walking on. Grapes?
Yeah, you have to make a living, of course.
Oh, and so you make a living on grapes.
Not quite.
I know.
Most of the time the birds enjoyed it because we just happened to leave for Indonesia and they were laughing.
Right.
We came back and you stare at those bunches. Only the little stalks are hanging there.
Right.
No food left.
Right.
Nothing.
And they're saying, ha ha ha, guess what we did?
You see, that's by purpose, as I told you
Yes,
before.
yes.
Give the woodpeckers a chance and so on, and we don't need it as firewood, so let them have.
Well, we're going to have to take a break right now, and when we come back, I'm going to let you in on a secret. These guys are national award winners as well, so you stay with us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Middle Georgia Magazine. This is a very unusual tree, and tell us how you found it and a little bit about it.
Before we had 2 big gardens, we had time to walk around, and that's what we did. And we found a little baby plant with some interesting blossoms on it. We took it home, and so far we have not discovered the real name of it, the botanical name, but I think some migrant birds dropped it there.
So who knows what this is, but we'll keep investigating that. This is gorgeous. Now, I also was mentioning that you guys are award winners for the National Wildlife Federation. I believe there are only about 19,000 in Canada and the United States who have received this award. Tell us a little bit about
Well, you can apply for it, but you have to mail in a lot of photos and explain, give a list with all the names you have. You have to grow native plants, and you have to provide natural habitat and food for and water, everything for the wildlife, for the habitat you have here. And that's what we did. It's a lot of work, but
Well,
we are proud of
it's
it.
wonderful because now you have all these wonderful animals.
So if you see a pile of branches over there, that is not that
You're
we
not
have,
lazy.
but just give the birds an opportunity to nest
Yes,
beneath them.
yes.
So we walk that way.
That's the bird department and probably
The bird department.
apartment. I mean,
Oh,
apartment
yes, yes. And maybe some snakes.
building. No, we don't have any snakes.
Oh, really?
Chipmunks, they
Okay.
hide on the
Uh-huh,
leaves.
uh-huh. Oh, these are beautiful.
We have an enormous variety on canna lilies. We
Yes.
these are canna lilies, of course, and several colors.
Did that come up spontaneously?
Some come up spontaneously, so the birds, they do eat the seeds and they drop them somewhere.
That's beautiful. Now this is an interesting little ground cover right there. What is that?
It's a vine, but we like to get rid of it. It's too invasive.
Is it?
We have been killing it on the other side. And
Well, it certainly has. It's interesting because of the texture and the color. It's not just solid green. You know.
But it
Yes.
takes over
Everything.
everything.
Well, that is. You know, if you have a place that needs to be taken over, there you
So,
go.
near the driveway, we have one section completely covered, but the funny thing is, it's not what do you call variegated anymore. It's
Oh,
solid
it's not
green.
variegated.
Yeah,
Huh.
so it's not a true thing.
Right. I see. Well, this is so exciting in here.
And these we plan to put. This is a kind of an island. There have been running two creeks, and I call this Long Island.
There you go.
So when that has watered away, we will put all of these verbenas. It's the Homestead Purple. It's a native Georgian variety.
Yes.
So, oh yeah,
That is
we love those shades of green.
yes.
That's what we have.
You
been
know, when I
hunting
was
for.
growing up, on seeing my grandparents' farm, I didn't know that verbena was. I thought it was just something that grew wild, you know, along the road or whatever. I didn't realize that people actually put it in their gardens until I started, you know, gardening and getting a little bit older and realizing that was wonderful.
Next to the driveway, we also have that silver, and it's a verbena pink variety.
Oh yes. Well, the lights playing in here are gorgeous. Look at those trees right there and the lines.
Yeah. But you have to do a lot of pruning. You walk through it, you look at it, which one has to go, which is in the way of
Now,
another.
is pruning hard? I think
It's
it
hard
is.
work. You sweat a lot.
I
You
know,
cut
but
the
it's hard
trees.
for me to thin or prune. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
like
if you
I worked
know-
so hard to get it to grow, and now I'm going to
but
cut it.
if you know what you have to cut, you see, the philosophy here is that over the years we will replace the older or not so nice looking trees, and in the meantime you plant younger ones, and if they grow up gradually you cut down the other ones. Now pruning is a question of, and again that is our horticultural background. If you prune something, you can give a tree or a shrub the model you like.
Yes,
Huh?
yes. But you can't put it back either. If you made a mistake.
You know what it is? Like finding a good hairstylist.
Oh, there
He can
you go.
ruin your
Yes.
face, or he can frame it in and make you look a lot younger or more
Yes.
attractive.
You're exactly
That's
right.
the same as
right.
pruning.
You're exactly right. Oh, is this a butterfly bush?
Buddleia alba. So you have it easy here. If you look for a name, you will
They
always
are all
see
baptized.
a name tag. But later on, you like to know what you are talking about and which one is doing well and other ones are not doing so well.
This is gorgeous. And I see figs all over. I've seen figs several places. That's beautiful.
You know what it is? As a southern girl, you should know what it is. Huh?
Persimmon.
persimmon.
Oh, now see, yes,
Yeah.
okay. My
But-
granddaddy had one of those.
But this is another variety. Huh?
An exotic.
Okay,
variety.
okay. Now that's what threw me off. It was the exoticness about it. Oh, this is beautiful too.
It's blooming year round.
Oh, and it's very fragrant. Are these gardenias in the middle here?
They are, yes. We have different varieties, like here is the Gardenia Belmont. It's from the turn of the century. It's an antique one. I found that in Connecticut. They have a company who traces old plants.
that's
Fragrant ones, of course. And
And again, manage the water because it was also here too wet.
low maintenance gardening. There's no
such thing.
low maintenance raising children. I mean, it's,
no, you're right. You're right.
One secret is that little pile over there.
Yes.
We put a lot of spent mushroom compost in it. So I have a little trailer and of course I have easy access to
Sure.
it. But so every time if we plant a tree or a shrub or plant, we first mix it with a lot of spent compost. And that's
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. That's a good tip.
you see that shrub? That's
Yes.
where the dark oxalis has to go.
Oh, okay. Yes. I sure
Now,
do.
you see-
That'll be beautiful.
something like this, so lush. If you look at this soil,
Yes.
that is just sand.
sand,
But if you put in, mix it with that spent compost, look at that, how happy they are. Huh?
Yes.
So that is the trick.
It sure is.
Okay, follow.
Oh, with these little. What is this right here?
Tanacetum. It's like the wild tansy, but of course the botanical
Yellow.
variety.
Yellow blooms is actually a herb, huh? Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tanacetum.
Wow, that's really beautiful. All these hostas in here are very
Different
happy.
varieties.
Yes, they're. I was amazed the other day at how many different varieties of hostas there are.
Oh, you don't have enough
No.
money to buy them all.
No.
They
No.
are also very
Oh, this is
expensive,
beautiful
most of them.
too.
That's again the sedum.
Well, this is so gorgeous. Oh, and the color in these is two shades of green.
Variegated, yeah. Seersucker.
Siboliana. Francis Williams.
Right. That's gorgeous. That's Francis.
And I let those wild violets
Yes.
just go.
Where they want.
That's one blue haze in spring, and that's what I'm looking forward to within a couple of years, to have that early springtime blooming.
Well, I hate to say it, but we have to take another break, and after that we'll come back and share with you just a little bit more of their garden. Thank you for joining us on Middle Georgia Magazine today. I'm so sorry that you can't be here personally because this has been a wonderful treat, and we were talking about God and how close you feel to God in this garden, and I have certainly been blessed to be here, and I appreciate you guys letting us enjoy your garden, and I wouldn't be surprised if people call and say, could we come and tour your gardens? Would that be a possibility?
Maybe in the future, for our feeling, it's not yet established to be a beautiful showcase, but that's something maybe as a fundraiser for our leper children and so on.
Great
Couple of
idea.
times a year.
Yes, yes.
I have that in the back of my mind.
Okay, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Middle Georgia Magazine. We'll look forward to seeing you again next time. So stay with us and have a great weekend. I hope you get out there and do some gardening. Bye-bye.